Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm kalikaiz and today we're playing Familiars. It's combo control. This deck plays Cost Reducer with Sunscape Familiar, and then we're going to be gaining tons of life with Godpharaoh's Faithful. We're going to be countering our opponent with 4 counterspells in the main deck. This is a reaction to Ponza. We're also playing 4 of the Contaminated Landscape, which is a newer card from Modern Horizons 3, and it's cycling for the Esper colors, and we can play this on turn 1 and not get our lands destroyed. We're also going up to 21 lands now. And playing my Modern Age Deep Analysis version, I feel like this is very good at grinding and fighting through everybody. So as long as we don't die to Ponza, we'll be able to have a really good game. And I want to just see what Quad Counterspell does in this metagame here. So the Modern Age is a saga that gives you 2 loots and then turns into a 2/3 flyer. And then it pairs very well with Deep Analysis, which is flashback for 1 and a blue, pay 3 life, draw 2 cards. And that helps us just shove straight through any blue deck that we might face. I've noticed that Affinity is kind of on the rise, but not playing a lot of counterspells. So we're playing 4 Dust to Dust and 2 Revoke Existences. I've also seen a lot of Mono Red. And of course, my Mono Red combo, my Ruby Storm. And we're playing 6 Hydroblast for that effect. And then 1 more Thraben Charm in the main and the sideboard as our removal spells, and 2 more Loose Focus. So it's pretty standard as far as Familiars goes. We'll just see if it can hang in today's metagame. If you want sideboard guides for Familiars, check out the Patreon, which is patreon.com/kalikaiz. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. And check out cardmarket.com, the largest seller of Magic the Gathering cards in Europe. Get yourself a battle box, play some fams, and win some games. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and get into the matches. All right, we're here in round 1 versus ZZH. On the draw, we have a turn 2 Lose Focus if necessary, so I'm going to keep it. The Chancery is not great at the moment. We can go like land, get an island, play the island, then play the Mortuary Mire, holding up Lose Focus for turns 3 and 4 of their opponent. And looks like I joined with the wrong list. So, dang it. Let's go check that out. I'm going to keep it. So the difference between this list and the previous list that I had in the intro is mostly just that instead of playing Counterspell, we're going for 3 Loose Focus, 2 Counterspell in the main deck, and slightly different. I can't believe that happened. Oh well. We can deck tech again. Opponent mulligans to 4, plays a forest. We'll play the landscape and pass the turn. Let's see what they're up to. Forest again, plays overgrown battlement. Sacrifice for an island. And then we can snap the battlement and then counter it. I think that's a good plan. Keep them off of their mana dorks. They have 3 mana. Cast the battlement, I'm going to counter. Which they cannot do anything about because they don't have an extra mana. Sorry. Plays a Quirion Ranger, 1 card in hand. Probably a draw spell. Let's cycle this for an island. Play the Chancery, pick up the plains, and pass the turn. We don't really have anything going on for the next turn, so we probably have to just evoke the Muldrifter and then put it back on top with the Mortuary Mire. We draw a counterspell, I'll hold that open instead. They are going to tap and untap a land, play Shield Wall Sentinel, which can draw them or get them the Axebane Guardian or maybe something to transmute. They actually transmute for another Shield Wall Sentinel over here, which is strange, but I guess that gives them more draws into something. We're going to evoke the Muldrifter. We're losing out on the potential for... So if I Mortuary Mire, I get it back. I play Island. Pass the turn. Might draw it into a counterspell. Snap would be okay too, because I could snap and then play the Lorien Revealed. Our opponent is going to make 4 mana again. That's another Shield Wall Sentinel. This time probably drawing the Axebane Guardian. Or picking it out of their library. Reveals Axebane Guardian. It's in for 1. So to use all my mana, I probably just want a Lorien Revealed here. And a Faithful. Faithful doesn't do anything. Cast Lorien Revealed. Find some good cards. So we get rid of the Faithful. And I guess it's going to be the Lorien. We'll go Familiar, Snap, Modern Age, Familiar Snap, Mortuary Mire. So we'll get rid of the planes. We're going to play the Axebane Guardian. So now our plan is to go Mortuary Mire back to Muldrifter, Familiar, Modern Age, Snap, Drifter Ephemerate, Drifter Flicker. Leaf Color is definitely scary here, but we can at least take them off of their mana a little bit. Okay, we don't have to use the Modern Age at the moment. Play Familiar, Mortuary Mire back to Muldrifter. You snap away the Guardian, tap these two, as Preordain, bottom the land, top the Drifter. I'm going to evoke the Drifter this way in case I draw an Ephemerate. Draw two, finding a Familiar. Flicker here, draw two again, finding Landscape. I'm going to Modern Age, discard this Floodplain. So now I have Familiar, and then I can play Arcanemancer for Flicker, and then I can start flickering, trying to draw into Snap or Counterspell, and then snap their thing and try to find an Ephemerate or something. Axebane Guardian comes back down again. I think we're going to win, but they also mulligan to Infinity. Plays a Caretaker. Okay. Okay, Landscape is an untapped land, which is nice here. We don't need the third Familiar. We draw another Snap. Awesome. Familiar. Play this Familiar. Bounce the Axebane. Untap. The Arcanemancer. Back to Flicker. Then let's draw two. Find another island. An island. Draw two again. Looking for counterspells. Not find it. Flicker again. Okay, we found a counterspell. Right now they have 4 mana. So we can flicker the 2 islands and then tax them 4. So I think I'm going to keep this. We don't really need to keep the landscape or the plains. Get rid of the Modern Age, because at this point we're just going to be bouncing all their stuff with our double Arcanemancer. They're making a blue. Untaps. Okay. They have 2 blue mana. 3 blue mana. Drift of Phantasms Transmute. So there's nothing they can do right now that can win, as far as I'm aware. They're grabbing a Freed from the Real. Plays the Axebane Guardian. Let's just cast Counterspell with the Lose Focus. Cannot answer my Lose Focus, so you're dead. Okay. We win the game. So Thraben Charm and Lose Focus are coming in. Oops, not Dust to Dust. Okay, so here's my list. Instead of 4 Counterspell, I was on 3 Lose Focus and 2 Counterspell. And then no Deep Analysis, just trying to have a ton of lands with the Lorien Revealed and the lands. So not playing any Deep Analysis. The idea behind this version of what I was trying to do, so let's just move these over here. File view. So the idea behind this is that I have way more counterspells in the main deck, and I can support having way better mana because I have 20 lands plus the Lorien Revealed. And then I can just try to use my counterspells to get my big mana stuff to actually resolve, and then use the Modern Age just to dig through the deck. We don't get any value off of other stuff, but we'll see how it goes. We can bring in these 2 cards, getting rid of the 2 Faithfuls. And then I don't have anything else that I can do, so I'm just going to cut 2 Faithfuls for 2 Hydroblast. Sometimes they have Valakut. They have a bunch of haste things that can matter, so the Hydroblast can be useful. The other thing is, like, maybe the Thraben Charm would be better if we were just using it in combination with the Faithfuls as a removal spell. Alright, we have about as good of an opener as we can hope for. We're going to be trying to draw into a Snap, though. Our opponent keeps 7, leads on Forest into Vinehorn Elves. Play land and pass the turn. So we're really not going to be doing anything until turn 3. I probably should have just mulliganed for a Snap, but what are we going to do? Play a Tinderwall. Plays Axebane Guardian. I kind of thought they were going to play a red spell there and I could get used out of my Hydroblast. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. We're just going to discard the Hydroblast. Maybe discarding the other Modern Age is fine as well. Sure. My plan for turn 3 is to go Familiar Modern Age. Play a Forest. They have 2 mana for a Crashing Drawbridge. Now they can chain off. Plays a standard bearer. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Play a familiar. I don't think I'm going to juke them with my loose focus very well. Counter spell. Let's discard this Modern Age. Although I would have liked to draw another land. So if they don't kill me here, maybe I can hold up Counterspell. If I find a snap, I can snap the Standard Bearer, play the Familiar. Play Galvanic Alchemist. But they cannot currently go infinite with their creature. They only have 2 walls in play. Play a Quirion Ranger, they have 1 card in hand. Another Loose Focus. I'm going to draw and discard. Really want to draw a Snap. Finding an Ephemerate. I'm going to discard this Familiar. Play the Chancery, picking up the island. It's really all I can do at the moment. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. 6 mana. 1 card in hand. This is really surprising. You're going to attack for 4. Okay. If that's what the game is about, then I'm probably in a good position. Okay, we take 3, going to 17. They're passing the turn. I have a bunch of counter spells. I'll just play a land. Pass the turn. Now they can't even afford to attack me. They play a land. They only have 1 card in hand, so I can just counterspell this and then play Arcane-Mancer for counterspell. Beat the Stampede. We'll counterspell. And now they're just dead because we can just Ephemerate for counterspell over and over. And Ephemerate is not stopped by Standard Bearer. So they seem like they just kept like a pretty risky hand that was explosive but didn't pan out. Okay, no attacks for the opponent. Go Island. Arcane-Mancer. Get back the counterspell. And attack you for 2. This is the blue-white control aspect where you're just slowly getting there. 1 card in hand for the opponent. You're gonna, I guess they can drift. Looks like drift for drift. Shield Wall Sentinel. So we're gonna go counterspell, then Ephemerate, and get back counterspell. So Ephemerate says, or target creature you control, and Standard Bearer says if they can choose the Flag Bearer, they must. And we can't choose the Flag Bearer with Ephemerate, so it doesn't stop Ephemerate. I'm going to Preordain. Go ahead and attack. Preordain first. Finding a Thraben Charm. So I guess that's good. Pop. Pop. I can Ephemerate for the Lorien Revealed. Then grab an island. So Ephemerate kind of got me a land here, which is a pretty sweet thing. Play the island. And then I'll just go ahead and deal damage to the Standard Bearer. Pass the turn. Since the Standard Bearer is the only thing I can deal damage to with that. So I'll have Counterspell in hand for anything that they cast. Cast Overgrown Battlement will Counterspell. Ephemerate back the Counterspell. Ephemerate back the Ephemerate, I'm sorry. We can Ephemerate back the Counterspell. Play land. Arcane-Mancer. Back the Thraben Charm. We're just going to go ahead and blow up the Axebane Guardian. Keep them off of mana. Attack you for 2. And that's the game, so we'll see you in round 2. Alright, round 2 on the play versus Hypnotico. This hand dies to Ponza, so let's keep it. Land go. There hasn't been a ton of Ponza lately. Let's see what happens. Don't do it. Okay, Affinity. All right. Chancery, pass the turn, picking up my island. These Affinity lists have been skimping on counter spells, so we might be able to just go over the top of them. Great Furnace for the opponent. Plays a Refurbished Familiar. I'll get rid of the Faithful for the moment. But I couldn't discard a Deep Analysis there. All right, so I have Familiar and a Loose Focus. I can Loose Focus a Galvanic if they don't cast another spell. If they decide to go for Refurbished Familiar here, I also can Loose Focus that. Then I'm looking to go Drifter Ephemerate on the next turn and get back the value that they so punished me with this Refurbished Familiar here. Was Frogmite. Okay. I'm looking for them to tap their Great Furnace so that I feel free to cast my Muldrifter. Cast another Refurbished Familiar. It's going to counter. So at this point, if they have the Galvanic, they would go after the Familiar right now. If they don't go after the Familiar right now, then I feel like I'm fine to go Drifter Ephemerate. They kill the Familiar. Okay. I think that's probably fine overall. So untapped land is our best draw. Through and Flicker. I'm going to evoke the Muldrifter. Not draw any lands. I have 20 lands in the deck. No. Opponent plays a Thoughtcast. Wellspring. They have 6 artifacts on the table. 7. Let's see how many Mirror Forces they drop. 1. Only 1. Weak sauce, I say. Weak sauce. Get in for 4. We go to 14. No untapped land. All right, we're going to go to game 2. Can't believe they only had 1 Enforcer there. Pretty sad. All right, let's go. Now, our main plan is to cast Dust to Dust over and over and over. Godfrey's Faithful doesn't really do anything because they can go way over the top of us. So I like the Loose Focus and the Dust to Dust plan. We're just going to submit that. Okay, we're on the play. We're going to mulligan to Dust to Dust. We have Familiar, Snap Familiar. Not good enough. We have our lands. So we have turn 2 Familiar, turn 3 Muldrifter. All right, unfortunately we don't have Dust to Dust in hand, but we are going to keep this one. Opponent mulligans to 5. So you're saying there's a chance. We're going to go Familiar, turn 2, turn 3, Evoke the Drifter. They're probably, now they're on 4. Yikes for them. All right, they've kept 4. We're going to play Floodplain and pass the turn. Floodplain is like probably the worst card, the worst land in the deck, unfortunately. But it is a necessary evil because of our Lorien Revealeds. We're going to play the Island and play the Familiar. Looks like they mulligan to a Pyroblast. They're going to play Nile Spellbomb. So what do I want to do here? Right, that decision made now. We just go Familiar, Chancery, pick up the Island. It makes use of all of our mana. And then, depending on what they do, we can evoke the Muldrifter and then try to draw into a Dust to Dust. They hold up just Pyroblast, and we evoke the Muldrifter. Maybe we can see if they Pyroblast it, and then we can resolve a Lorien Revealed. Opponent plays a Blood Fountain. I'm expecting, this is 5 artifacts on the table. Thoughtcast. Okay, so what do we draw? Landscape. I think I'm just going to jam the Muldrifter. Loose Focus is actually quite good at the moment because they only have 2 mana. Finding another Muldrifter is okay. So Contaminated Landscape, we're choosing this over the Perilous Landscape, the Jeskai one, because we can actually cycle this if we find our Mortuary Mire and we have extra landscapes in hand, which is kind of sick. It plays a Vault of Whispers. So now they would have to play something for 2 or more mana if I wanted to Loose Focus it. Galvanic Blast, Muldrifter, fine. I don't think that's what the game is going to be about, to be honest. I'm going to have eventually a bunch of attackers, so 1 attacker gone does not do anything. So Drifter, Snap Drifter is pretty sick here. We can respond to the Pyroblast. Go Evoke Muldrifter. This actually generates a mana and draws 2 cards. And it just converts 2 cards in our hand to 2 cards off the top of their deck into our hand. Snap the Drifter. At this point, when the Snap resolves, we're going to go ahead and preordain looking for the Dust to Dust. Possible that they have a Pyroblast for the Snap or another Galvanic, and we can just Loose Focus. We'll be floating white already, so we should be able to get cast a Dust to Dust if we can find it. Here comes a Pyroblast or something. We're just going to counter your negate. I do want these to untap. Tap these. We'll go preordain. There's the Dust to Dust and a Modern Age. So I can just pop both of these. The Island, and then Modern Age, discarding planes. Go ahead and Dust to Dust, get rid of your 2 red lands, and say go, right? You always say that. I'm going to let you take your turn with 1 mana available. We're looking at probably still discarding the landscape. They have a Great Furnace, so more Pyroblasts, potentially. We draw, discard a landscape. So let's attempt to cast a Muldrifter. See if they have a Pyro in hand. Looks like no. Okay, we'll just cast another Muldrifter then. Draw 2 again. I'd snap, lose focus. Okay. Looks pretty good for us at the moment. They play a Dross Forge Bridge, 2 cards in hand. Refurbished Familiar is going to make me discard a landscape. Not a big deal. Find a Familiar. So we have to tap blue, blue, white to cast Lorien Revealed. Find a Archaeomancer. I'll play the Chancery here, tapping the island, picking up the island. Then I can just snap my Muldrifter. Tap. Go Archaeomancer, get Dust Dust. I guess they have the Spell Bomb. So in that case, we can cycle the Lorien Revealed and pick up the Lorien Revealed. The graveyard gets exiled. Cycle the Lorien Revealed for an island. Get that out of the deck. Pick up a Lorien Revealed. Okay. And then I will play another Muldrifter. Card in hand for the opponent. Find a landscape. I'm going to attack because I don't think it matters if they trade here. I'm going to discard the plains. So this turn we can play Sunscape Familiar for 2 mana and then Lorien Revealed for 2 mana. They Deadly Dispute their Blood token. They've got Bridge and Treasure token available. Once we untap, we'll have Loose Focus to stop them from getting anything, but maybe we don't want to... Okay, they are tapped out now. I was thinking maybe we didn't want to use the Familiar with both of our white mana because then we wouldn't be able to just cast this Dust to Dust off the top, which I drew. Nice. Rid of your red lands again. All right, play a Familiar. We'll just draw 3 cards. And we have a Thraben Charm and a Mancer, so let's go Island. Attack for 4. 5, actually, okay. And we can counter their thing, and then Mancer for Dust to Dust again, and that's the game. Take 5. Okay, we win. We win the match? They're over it. Too hot, too intense. Okay, let's go to round 3. Round 3, we're 2-0. On the play. I don't know if Nicograh plays Ponza, but even if they do, there's nothing else happening in our hands, so I think we have to mulligan. And this one we cannot keep. Dang. We went from all lands to no lands. Mulligan again. Keeping 5. So at this point we get rid of Snap and Muldrifter. So we're looking to go turn 2 Faithful Preordain. I do like to keep Faithful Preordain as an opener. They lead on a bridge, so it could be any of many decks now. There's a lot of red-black bridge decks. On a loose focus. I still think I want to just Faithful Preordain. Floodplain and an island. I think I can bottom the floodplain and top the island. Let's see what our opponent does. Jund. So they're probably Brood Scale, which is going to be tough. I think I'm just going to draw 2 cards here. It's a turn. I don't even know if this is a good matchup for me, to be honest. Like, I don't have... I have a lot of counterspells. We can interact with their stuff by snapping it in response to the enchantment. They have 3 mana now. Final Lorien Revealed. I'm going to play the Chancery and pick up my plains. Now they have 4 mana. Plays Malevolent Rumble. Cleansing Wildfire, Swamp, Wildfire, Swamp. They choose a swamp. They're going to not have a wildfire. Play a land and pass the turn. You have an Ephemerate now, so we can maybe get a counterspell lock going. They're going to Deadly Dispute their Wellspring. Our opponent currently has 10 cards in hand, trying to decide what action to take. Goes Chromatic Star. There's another Wellspring. Right now I'm looking to draw into a Familiar or maybe a Modern Age, just something to continue to keep me drawing while I'm holding up my counterspells. Discarding the hand size, discarding a bridge. Another loose focus. Pass the turn. So they're Deadly Disputing again. I'm going to actually loose focus this one. So then I have loose focus for the next turn as well. As a Krark Clan Shaman. Basically doesn't matter here. I do have answers to the Makeshift Munitions, so I'm not going to counter that. Play the Makeshift Munitions. 3, 4, 5. Cycle for an island. Draw. Cast a Preordain. Life. I mean, I could take Island and Lorien Revealed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm just going to bottom. It's another preordain. Autumn landscape. I can top the counterspell. It's the turn. So now I can counterspell a Brute Scale or a Glee. Wonder which one I should counter. The Eviscerator's Insight, sacrificing. I mean, at this point, they're probably going to have more than one interaction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana available, 8 mana. That's Writhing Chrysalis. Annoying, but not the worst, I guess. Writhing Chrysalis? Writhing Chrysalis? Okay, they're going to make their Chrysalis bigger. Another one. We're going to replicate the Loose Focus and counter it. No Chrysalis for you, okay? Thank you. They could still kill me from here. Brute Scale, yep. Okay, they got me. Sorry. Gross. Charm, Loose Focus. Get rid of 2 Faithfuls. My hand just didn't do anything. Alright, now we're on the play. Mulligan. Man. Try again. Okay. Get rid of Familiar Mancer. Play an island and pass the turn. Just mulliganing to 5 twice versus a deck that has like 60 duresses and can just, oops, I combo. It's definitely hard for me. There's a bridge. I feel that we're probably going to lose, but I'm staying in it. Discard the Faithful. So this is our white source, the Lauren revealed here. There's a forest, Root Scale, loot. So I have to get rid of, I guess, the preordain. Play the Contaminated Landscape and pass the turn. Play a land. They attack for 2. We're going to grab our white source. Now the question is whether or not I cycle for an island. I think I probably have to. Draw. Finding a preordain. We'll lead on the preordain. Another Loose Focus. Alright, we'll top. Loose Focus on top. Pass the turn. So right now I'm... They're going to adapt their Brute Scale, which gives them a counter. But I have Loose Focus to tax them 4. Next turn I'm just drawing a land. With lots of counters. So we'll see. So I'm in the same position as before. Counter? This kind of sucks. They've reached the point where now I have the same thing to deal with. Guess I'm just going to replicate on here, and if they have the Sadistic Glee once again, I'm dead. Okay, they don't have it right now. Familiar. They land. Forgot to play my land. Let's play the land post-combat. Now they're going to Deadly Dispute. I'm just going to counter the Deadly Dispute and then pass the turn. I've got nothing left. But they didn't have the combo before, so now they're just reliant on their top decks just as well as I am. I don't know what else is in their hand. Attack for 3. I go to 12. There's another Brute Scale. And a land. Sacrifice for a forest, probably. Yep. 3 cards in hand. We have Counterspell. We're going to die to these Brute Scales, though. I guess I probably want to block once. Right now they're trying to adapt their creature on end step, but they kind of forgot that they don't have green mana. Cast Eviscerator's Insight. I'm going to Counterspell. That's the turn. Nice of them to let me have a few more turns. X for 3 again. We go to 9. There's a Twisted Landscape. I feel like I would have just cycled that. Evolution Witness to get back Chrysalis, maybe? That's brutal. We need a Muldrifter. Loose Focus. Ugh. Okay. Just hanging out. I think I'm going to move on to the next game. They beat me. We'll see you in the next one. Here versus Ito01. Plays all sorts of different things. I'm going to mulligan this one. So this hand is probably a trap. Keep mulliganing to 5. I think not having my my deep analysis to pitch to the modern age has been a big problem. I'm not giving up. I'm not restarting. I have to mulligan though. Mulligan. Mulligan again. We're at 4. We're keeping. Flicker. Modern Age. Faithful on the bottom. Play the land and pass the turn. We play Azorius Guildgate. Okay. We can recover. Let's grab an island. Preordain. I'm going to bottom both of these. Looking for card draw spells. Guess I can... Just going to play the Chancery. Pick up the island. So, when you're mulling quite low on familiars, you really do want to keep Chanceries. Go Island and Preordain. Bottom, guess the counterspell on the bottom as well. For the Faithful, pass the turn. Just trying to dig for more card draw stuff. So counterspell would have been something I would have liked to keep if I had more cards in hand and something to do. Like we could have kept the counterspell to protect casting the familiar, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. Land, pass the turn. Our opponent is holding open counterspell. Deep Analysis would be really, really good in this matchup as well. Like Modern Age. So we can like play the familiar, see if that gets countered. Did not get countered. Play the Modern Age. When it does not counter, discard a snap, play another Modern Age. They're going to finally counter. I feel like they definitely left some on the table doing that. I'm going to blow up my Modern Age. Okay, cool. They've got a Lorien Reveal. That's very solid for them. Let's see if we can draw a Drifter. We draw a Chancery. Sad. Okay, our opponent's on 8 cards in hand. We have 2. Come on. Brainstorm, so they can maybe clear their Brainstorm with a Squadron Hawk or a Shuffle or something. Squadron Hawk to clear the Brainstorm, representing Counterspell still. Plays a Modern Age, so giving us an opening to draw a Mulldrifter. Discards a Sacred Cat, plays a Citadel Gate. All right, we did it. Yes. So do I leave open the... Just going to go this way. Evoke the Drifter. What a draw. Finally got there. Okay. And we'll Ephemerate the Drifter. We actually even drew the Thraben Charm and Flicker. All right, let's go land. Play Arcanemancer, get back Snap, I think. All right, wow. What a recovery. When it's going to draw and discard. Discards a Prismatic Strands. Has Guardian of the Guild Pact and Brainstorms. So Guardian of the Guild Pact is how they intend to win, but not that big of a deal. We just rely on Faithfuls to outgrind them. They can't attack with their Squadron Hawk. We're going to Ephemerate again. Looks like they might have taken all the Journey to Nowheres for Raven Charms. Ephemerate, find a Faithful. Let's attack with the Mulldrifter. Okie dokie. Go Faithful and Ghostly Flicker. Draw 2 cards. Also gain 2 life. Go for Preordain. Counterspell on top. Okay. I'll bottom the land. Up the counterspell. Let's snap your Squadron Hawk. Tap. Go ahead and Ephemerate my Mulldrifter. Finding a Faithful. We can play the Faithful and then Flicker here. Or just Flicker. Flicker and draw 2 cards. Faithful, Preordain. I'm just going to Faithful and then draw 2 more cards. Draw 2. All these free card draw spells are pretty sweet. Get rid of the Chancery and I guess the Landscape. Our opponent now has a 2/3 flyer and a Brainstorm. They're looking for more Raven Charms to try to take out my Arcanemancer. If I can untap, I'm going to have Counterspell available and then Infinite Life with the Familiar in play. They're going to Thraben Charm. Nope, Squadron Hawk, okay. That clears their Brainstorm, which is good value for them. I wonder if they're going to go up to 9 cards in hand or 10 cards. They do go up to 10 cards in hand. Journey to Nowhere. Getting rid of a Faithful. That's not going to work. Journey to Nowhere, another Faithful. Nice. That barely matters. Feels good. Okay, they're going to attack for 2. Right, fine. Ephemerate the Arcanemancer. Ephemerate, so they may be only playing 1 or 2 Thraben Charms. Landscape Familiar. Preordain. Bottom and top a Drifter. Draw 4 cards by going Evoke and Flicker. Draw 2 and Flicker. We have Ephemerate in hand, so we can like Ephemerate and then Snap. Attack. We draw Snap anyway. Let's snap this thing. Then Raven Charm. Destroy your Vector Glider. And just Ephemerate back the Thraben Charm. Attack for 2. Boink. For 37. It's actually a bonus for me that they got rid of that. I guess I can discard the DeLorean reveal. I don't even need it at the moment. Plays a Modern Age. Sure. We'll yield to the Modern Age trigger. We discard a Strands, which is fine. Plays a CawGate on white. This is really funny. Mulligan to 4, and then they tapped out and we ripped the Moldrifter, and then it's just over. Sacred Cat. Gate up the Guardian. Problem. It's in for 7. Okay. We have, it looks like they have Counterspell, right? So we're going to flicker on end step, holding up the lose focus. Back to flicker. Even if they have Thraben Charm, we have a response. They have nothing. Great. All right. So let's ephemerate. Back to ephemerate. Okay, so now we can just, they are dead. Chaomancer, which gets back the snap. Make infinite white mana. Start Thraben Charming them. Snap this thing. Tap. And just Thraben Charm. Exile your graveyard. Go ahead and attack. What do I even want to do here? I just have so many options. Flicker. Back the Thraben Charm, I guess. Book the Moldrifter. Ephemerate the Moldrifter. Another familiar. Play the familiar. Then we can discard a familiar. Discard lose focus. I mean, Valorian Revealed. I still want to have the island to be able to cast it, or not cast it, but play it out later on the next turn. And they scoop. That felt good. So, do we really need to do anything? I think our deck is probably fine. The loose focuses are not the greatest, but we don't have anything else really to bring in. We could bring in Revoke Existence if we're scared of Relic, but I don't think I'm scared of Relic. They had Thraben Charms already that they showed us, so they're probably on Thrabens instead. Let's just keep it like this. Okay, we have a solid hand. A little bit too many islands, but we can preordain and hold up Counterspell. They do have Counterspell for their turn 4 Guardian. Just start preordaining. I'm gonna bottom both of these. Familiar is okay. I think I go preordain, play Chancery. They have the seed on red, so that's representing Pyroblasts. And now we have a Modern Age. So I think I just Modern Age and discard the landscape. So this is turn 3 for them. They play a Modern Age. Discard Deep Analysis, play a land. So they could turn 4 Guardian, which means I need to be prepared for that. Discard 1 island, go preordain. Snap preordain is fine. Do I want the snap? I think no. Bottom the snap, top the preordain, play island, pass the turn. Next turn it's going to be preordain, play the Chancery. They're looting. Discards an island, plays a Basilisk Gate. Let's see if they jam. Weirdly, they tapped their land and then passed. Strange. Okay. So we have tons of familiars. I'm just going to jam one. Pass the turn. We Pyroblast my Vector Glider. Okay. So now they have a Vector Glider. They're going to Deep Analysis. Okay. Plays a land. I'll play another familiar. Chancery. Pick up the land. They're going to attack but not gate their creature. So they probably have a bunch of counterspells. So we need counterspells too. There's a Sacred Cat. 6 cards in hand. So probably counterspell plus other cards. Let's preordain. No lands for me, please. I would not like them. Find a Faithful. Guess I can just play the Faithful out. Then another familiar. That's the turn. Opponent plays a Modern Age. They're going to loot. Discards Thraben Charm, plays a CawGate. Right? They attack with everything. We're going to double block their Sacred Cat to send a message. The message is, don't block, fly attack. Alright, find a Moldrifter. So, they probably have 2 counters. I'm just going to play the landscape as a mana source. I need a second counterspell if I'm going to be able to poke the Moldrifter and ephemerate it. Because they're representing counterspell plus Pyroblast. Now they have 7/6 flyer. X for 7. Go to 9. Dead to another Basilisk Gate. Let's pass. So we have Snap. They gate up their thing. Go ahead and snap it so we don't take any damage. They have Fire Blast. Okay. That sort of aligns with my plan because now I can Drifter Ephemerate and have Counterspell. Go to 3. Now I am going to get an island. Lose Focus. Evoke. So if they have Counterspell, we have Lose Focus for the Counterspell. 1 mana answer. The patience was very important there. We could have gotten wrecked by playing into everything. Ephemerate this. Finding a Snap and a Flicker. Okay, so I guess we pass. See what they do. Use 2 counterspells. They gate up the Vector Glider. They're going to Red Elemental Blast my Muldrifter. I'm going to respond by going Snap on the Vector Glider. Counterspell is going to focus both of their spells. Sort of a blowout. Maybe I shouldn't have honored the Snap. No, yeah, I still needed to do that because that was a big creature. Goodbye to your big creature. And then I guess they can attack for 2. I can block and flicker. Flicker my Muldrifter and my island, draw 2 cards. Finding another Snap and a Lorien Revealed. Solid. So let's see. We have the Ephemerate on the Muldrifter resolving. Sweet. Draw 2. Find Mortuary Mire. And we don't have anything to get back right now. First I'm going to draw 3 cards. See what happens. Archaeomancer. Alright. Go Mancer. Back the Ephemerate. Ephemerate for the Flicker. And I'm just going to play the Chancery. Pick up the Plains. Snap your Sacred Cat. Snap. I mean, I can just like play out a bunch of stuff now, or hold up Counterspell. Let's play the Modern Age. I'm just going to start doing things. When in doubt, take actions. Discard this. Alright, sweet. So let's get rid of the Vector Glider for the moment. Tap. Play another Familiar. Gain a bunch of life. We'll go to like 30 life. And then I'll just flicker my Muldrifter a couple of times. What I'm doing here is I have white mana floating, so now I have this auto yield on. That way I don't have to press OK to stuff, and it's saving me some time. And I'm just tapping both of my islands and then flicking around. So double click the here, flicker. And I find it easier to move across the screen in like a circular pattern. So I go here, here, here. That's like a circle, clockwise or counterclockwise. And just do it all again. That's probably fine here at this moment. Back to flicker. Flicker here. Draw 2 cards. Get back to flicker again. And I'll cast the Modern Age. Just go ahead and discard the Chancery. That's it for me. No attacks. So we built up some cards in hand to discard to the Modern Age. We'll discard the Chancery and then probably an island. We still have Counterspell to protect the Ephemerate and the Flicker. But they still could have Thraben Charms. After brainstorming, they play a Citadel Gate on blue. 4 mana for a Guardian of the Guild Pact. They're looking to strain my clock by presenting their own clock, which I have to respect and gain a bunch of life to get through for them to not kill me. Get back my Ephemerate. We will discard the Chancery and an island. We have 4 Familiars in play. So Muldrifter costs 1 mana. That's awesome. Our opponent has disconnected. Nice. Okay, just cast another Muldrifter. Doing my thing. Cast another Muldrifter. Play this Mortuary Mire. And I guess I'm just going to play out the Archaeomancer for the loose focus. And then ephemerate this for the snap. Attack for 2. So since our opponent is DC'd, we might have to just wait for them to time out, unfortunately. Okay, we win the match. On to round 5. Okay, we're in round 5. This seems like a fine keep. We have land, Modern Age, fix our hand. Did not mean to rhyme there, but it worked out. Our opponent is mulliganing to 5. Let's see what happens. We play a Vault of Whispers and a Blood Fountain. So it's probably Affinity. I'll play my Floodfane and pass the turn. Yeah, it looks like Affinity. They Thoughtcast. And Blood Fountain. 3 cards in hand for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost time to slam Mere Enforcers. We're going to Modern Age and just discard the planes. Pass the turn. Learn Revealed seems like pretty clunky overall. Maybe just going 21 lands is fine. Thoughtcast for the opponent after playing a Drawsforge Bridge. There's Enforcer number 1. That is all. Okay. We're going to loot again. Get rid of the land. Play out the Sunscape Familiar and the Chancery. Pick up the land. What you got, opponent? It's going to put us to 16 here. A Deadly Dispute. A Reckoner's Bargain, sacrificing, I guess, a treasure. Then play a Refurbished Familiar. So we'll just discard another island. It doesn't really bother me that much. Kind of looking for Faithfuls at this point. I guess I should. Okay. We find a snap, so that's pretty decent. We can snap the Mere Enforcer, get it off the table. And then just draw 3 cards. Finding Familiar and a Muldrifter. Play another Familiar and pass the turn. So this next turn we can go Mancer, snap the Mere Enforcer again, cast a Muldrifter. Mere Enforcer hits the table. We play Drawsforge Bridge. Nile Spellbomb. Plays a Wellspring. So they don't want us to be able to get back our snap, I guess. Plays another Familiar. We'll get rid of the Preordain. Everybody's playing Familiars today. Pretty sweet. Go land. Answer. Probably crack the Spellbomb now. Okay. So we lose out on some value. A little disappointing. But we'll just go ahead and continue on our merry way, casting Muldrifters. Fun to flicker. So I guess we can block the Refurbished Familiar with our Vector Glider, and then work on just flickering Archaeomancer and Muldrifter to get value that way. They're Deadly Disputing the Wellspring, drawing a bunch of cards. They're at 5 cards in hand with 38 cards left in their deck. Plays a Drawsforge Bridge. Wellspring again. 2 mana available since they have a treasure token. I guess we're looking to see if they're just going to start spamming off some Galvanics here. They're attacking with only their Enforcer. I'm just not going to block this time. Okay, we have double Preordain. See if I can find some interaction so that I don't just spew the Ghostly Flicker. There's a Loose Focus. Okay, I'll take that. Play Island. Go ahead and try to draw 2 cards. Got a Loose Focus. Oh, nothing. Sweet. So we'll yield. Draw 2. And then I think I'm going to pass. And then plan on going block and flicker. I don't really want to put their cards into the graveyard right now. Because they have the Blood Fountain in play, they can just get back the Refurbished. And it's going to be annoying. So they can they're Reckoner's Bargaining the Wellspring. I guess I can just draw a ton of cards. Flicker here. Draw 2. Probably shouldn't have done that. Let's let them have their cards. We'll get rid of 1 Preordain. When it plays another Wellspring. 7 cards in hand. Plays a Blood Fountain. They have 3 mana available, so Loose Focus is viable at the moment. They are going to discard a Sneaky Snacker, which comes right back her. Currently cannot deal with my Loose Focus, though. So I think I'm going to block and flicker. Walk here. We'll Ghostly Flicker. No Galvanic and no Metallic Rebuke from the opponents. We just get to freely draw 2 cards. Drawing another Archaeomancer. So if we can draw a Snap, they're just locked out. I guess the Refurbished Familiars are kind of annoying. Play another Enforcer. Okay. Find an Ephemerate. Let's Preordain. Looking for snaps. Found the snap. Okay. Feel like we're in a good spot. Play Chancery. Pick up the island. We will snap off your Enforcers. Play Mancer. Get back the snap. And then snap the Enforcer again. And then we can just Ephemerate here. Get back to snap again. Snap this one. Untap. Cast Modern Age, which discards an island. You can cast a Muldrifter for full value. We have extra white mana. Draw. Another snap. I mean, at this point, I guess I start attacking. Attack. They are going to trade. Okay. Let's cast another Modern Age. Discard the Lorien Revealed this time and play a Faithful. I feel pretty safe. Here comes a Mere Enforcer. Mere Enforcer numero dos. Wellspring. Okay. Deadly Dispute on the Wellspring. 3 mana available. Okay. I think the thing that I have to worry about right now is munitions. Trying to just chill and then see if I can just counter munitions. They play the 4th Blood Fountain. Wow. I haven't seen a lot of Affinity lists playing 4 Blood Fountains. They're going to discard the Snacker, but they've already drawn a ton of cards. They don't get it back. Plays a Thoughtcast. Plays a Refurbished Familiar. I will Ghostly Flicker these 2 cards. Since they only have 1 mana available, I can just counter whatever they did. They're going to respond with the Galvanic, but we have the counter. All good. Yield to this. So Galvanic's not going to resolve. My Flicker is going to resolve. We're going to draw 2 cards, most likely just discard the island. Get back to Ghostly Flicker. Familiars is just such a strong deck. Okay, now at this point we can discard the Chancery. Doesn't really matter. I would rather have more untapped blue sources, and we're trying to maximize the total number of blue sources in play. Okie dokie. They attack for 2, which doesn't matter. So our Ephemerate is going to make one of our Archaeomancers have Summoning Sickness. Then the other Archaeomancer is going to have Summoning Sickness. And then we are going to be able to attack for 5, because we can just snap them out. I'll discard the Landscape, an Island, discard the Chancery, play Island, Archaeomancer. So I get the loose focus here. Snap your Enforcer, Flicker. So Flicker Snap is a mana neutral loop if you have 2 Familiars and 2 Islands, or if you have 1 Familiar and 2 1 Familiar and 2 Chanceries. But no, we have 2 Familiars and 2 Chanceries, so it's actually going to be gaining us +2 white every turn. Every time I do it, I mean. Go ahead and cast a Muldrifter here. Drawing a lot of cards. Cast a Familiar, making everything super cheap. Going to just attack with everything now. If they block on the Archaeomancer, I can Flicker Archaeomancer and Island. Flicker. So that stops them from dealing damage to the Archaeomancer. They take 4 from my attacks. And then the question is whether or not I should cast the Muldrifter. Because the thing I'm probably going to lose to is like Parkland Shaman. I think I should just hang out. We got 2 Mere Enforcers and a bunch of unknowns. Sneaky Snacker in the graveyard. Mere Enforcer comes down again. We're at 18 life. Double Mere Enforcer. Triple Mere Enforcer. This probably feels bad to be like, I have a 0 mana 4/4, but it doesn't matter. Okay, there's the Parkland Shaman. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's see what they're gonna do, right? Parkland Shaman is annoying. I'm just gonna let it resolve, actually. This is a weird spot, but I think I can respond to the activations. Okay? Parkland Shaman, activation number 1, activation number 2, activation number 3. Okay. Now I can Ephemerate this Archaeomancer, get back a Snap, and Flicker these 2. They sacrificed their Mere Enforcers, which is strange. We're going to get back some snaps. Snap and Ghostly Flicker. Okay, so 1 damage on all my creatures. Now that resolves. Just go ahead and snap your Mere Enforcer. Have my lands. And Flicker here. Get back to Snap. Snap one of my Familiars. And Flicker for the snaps. And then we can even snap the other Familiar. Okay, get back to Snap. Doodly-doo. Because it doesn't matter having this many Familiars in play. Snap this one. Tap. Flicker here and here. Like the Snap and the Flicker. Start off on Flicker. Clear the damage. Flicker. I guess I'm just going to snap the Faithful and then flicker my other familiar. And that way I have all my stuff in play. I have extra snap if I need to do something crazy. Do flicker again. Successfully navigated the Crockland Shaman. Okay, what's next? Mirror Enforcer comes back. And they can Blood Fountain the Mirror Enforcers. You can also Blood Fountain back the Crockland Shaman again. And I can just have to loose focus it. It's back Mirror Enforcer and Crockland Shaman. Okay, Mirror Enforcer comes down again. They're going to play Crockland Shaman. But I think I'm going to do something kind of wild. I'm going to loose focus it. Because this plays around them having a second Crockland Shaman. I'm just going to cast it without replicating. And then if they want to pay, then I can flicker the Arcane Mancer to get back the loose focus and cast it again. Looks like they're going to pay. Actually, I can just go snap your Mirror Enforcer, untap, flicker, then get back the loose focus. It seems unlikely that they have yet another untapped land and a Crockland Shaman, but it's possible, I guess. Counter. So now I need to like find my Thraben Charm to get rid of the Crockland Shaman. Or a counterspell. There's a Mirror Enforcer. Do they want to attack? They're going to attack for 4. That's wonky. Turn. Ephemerate resolves. I'm going to get back the Ephemerate here from the graveyard. And now take a draw. Our 2 Modern Ages are going to flip. And I guess I just start snapping them out. Get back my snap. Back my other snap. This is taking a little bit of time to actually execute because the opponent is, I'm not sure if they're F6 or not. Tap this one, and then we'll cast a Muldrifter. There's the Thraben Charm. Okay, just play Faithful, Island, back with everything. They scoop it up, finally. Yay. So we know the post-board plan. It's going to try to ruin their lands. Kind of unfortunate that as a Familiars player, you have to turn into a Ponza player post-board. Rid of these 2. I like the way this looks. I'll go for it. Okay, our opponent mulligans to 6. We have Island Preordain, and then can maybe find a Dust to Dust off the top. We are probably good. I don't have really anything else going on, but I think we keep it and try to find the Dust to Dust with the Preordain here. And we're also set up where if we draw a Revoke Existence, we can cast that on turn 2. We play a Bridge. Go Island and Preordain. Just lands. That's pretty bad. So unfortunately, we have those lands come off the top, and then we also like have fetch lands in hand, which makes our Preordain even worse. They play a Wellspring and pass. Finding a Familiar. Guess I put the Familiar into play. Our opponent is going to Makeshift Munitions. Just going to Chancery, pick up the Plains. They've got 4 cards in hand. Looks like they have Deadly Dispute on the Wellspring. Cast down. I will attempt to snap my Familiar back. If they think it's important to cast down it, that's like, we probably want to just respond and make them use their hand, and they ended up using a Pyroblast. So now we can try to resolve a Archaeomancer for the Preordain and try to find Preordain so that we can find the Dust to Dust. Not playing any Hydroblasts, but I do have the Thraben Charm, which can take out the munitions. Opponent Deadly Disputes their Wellspring. So Dust to Dust not looking great at the moment. Plays a Mistvault Bridge. So if we're going to go after lands, we want to take out their red lands right now. Double Enforcer. So we dust, we have to kill the Enforcers. Preordain. Grifter Preordain. We have 4 mana. Guess we take this. And this is not good. Play a land. Tap a Mirror Enforcer. Then we'll hardcast and Muldrifter. But if they have a response here, we're dead. Okay. Let's sacrifice for an island. I don't like my odds at this point. I feel like this game has turned out poorly. Opponent's going to untap with a 4/4, plus Makeshift Munitions. Deadly Disputes the treasure token. There's a Blood Fountain. So if we find the dust, we want a Dust Enforcer Blood Fountain here. They have 1, 2, 3 mana available. There's a Refurbished Familiar. which gets rid of my floodplain. They can attack for 4. Well, I guess maybe we just dust these two. We can. But they have makeshift munitions to respond to it. I think I've just gotten too far buried here, so we're going to go to the next game. Let's see what we're going to draw. Not too much good. Okay. Let's mulligan into a better hand, right? And that does more stuff. Okay, we're on the play. Have the revoke on turn 2. So this is a keep. Just go island, pass, and then turn 2, revoke your land. Turn 3, Chancery, Modern Age. Island go. Opponent plays a Dross Forge Bridge. Have the revoke. Alright, they have no lands, and they untap. Plays a Vault of Whispers. Into a Spellbomb. Okay. You find a familiar. So I'm going to play the familiar first. Chancery, and pick up the plains. They play a Dross Forge. Find island. Go Chancery. Picking up my island. If I find a dust, I can always snap the familiar and then dust. Play the Modern Age. Okay, discard the plains. Pass the turn. Now we have lose focuses to stop them from doing stuff, but now we have kind of stalled out as well. They have 2 mana available, but no blue mana. There we go. Blue mana easy. Fine. Sadly, I can't counter that. My turn. To draw and discard. Discard an excess island. Play the contaminated landscape. Grab another island. I'll pass the turn. At least on my turn, I could snap and replay the Modern Age as another way of drawing cards, I guess. I was playing the contaminated landscape to try to continue to dig through the deck and clear some stuff. Opponent plays a Krark-Clan Shaman. I think at this point, if they use the Krark-Clan Shaman, it's actively good for me. Plays a Mirror Enforcer. Okay. I should have maybe countered that one. I wasn't thinking. I'm going to revoke existence. All right, let's go revoke existence on the Mirror Enforcer. I'm going to try to snap the Vector Glider. I have a Galvanic for the familiar. Just counter. Can't believe they're going to do this. They're sacrificing 3 artifacts just to kill my familiar, which doesn't really help them. So they sacrificed all their lands. Okay, sure. Play Modern Age. I'm still floating the white in case I draw the dust. So far I did not. Island. I guess I want to play this land out. Preordain off this one so I have the loose focus available. There's the dust to dust. Okay, I guess that is it. GG? Question mark? They're going to sacrifice the Spellbomb. So that gets rid of some of the stuff in my graveyard. They have 0 board. We have lands, and we have a Modern Age. I guess they could still come back. Play a Silver Bluff Bridge. Wow. They're staying in it. Draw. Discard the Ephemerate. Cast a Modern Age. Discard the Landscape. Pass the turn. Oh, it has more lands. I guess they just had lands. No big deal for them. Draw. Discard the Flicker. Play Archaeomancer to get back Ephemerate. And then pass. If they ever tap out, I'm Ephemerating for the Dust to Dust. But I have to wait until I have the loose focus available to protect it. Okay, my turn. Finding a Preordain. Start here on Preordain. Another loose focus. Okay, I'll top off the loose focus. Ephemerate for the Dust to Dust. Okay. And swing 4. This is going to be a flawless victory scenario, I bet, where we just have to get rid of every single thing that they play. Here's a Mistvault Bridge. Got the Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Back the Ephemerate. Now we need more white mana, actually. We're going to dust to dust their 2 red sources. They have a negate. I have a counter. I guess they could have Dispel. Alright, the red sources are gone. Island cycle for the white land. And attack. Next turn we can Ephemerate and get back the dust to dust. With loose focus backup. Play an Ichor Wellspring. They're fighting the good fight, that's for sure. They draw a card. Continue to play land. Alright, so We can attack for 5. Ephemerate. Back to lose the Dust to Dust. Go Dust to Dust on your lands. Pass the turn. All right. We win the game. 4-1, losing only to Brute Scale combo for the double mull to 5. I think that I would rather probably have played the original list that I was hoping for, but kind of a weird happenstance where it just ended up picking the deck randomly, but it was fun. And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.